So it's kind of turned into this like really competitive, but also family friendly festival. And it's just been really fun. And obviously we've had some really big celebrities play that are soccer celebrities, non-soccer celebrities like JJ Watt, Steve Nash, Chad Ochocinco. There's a bunch of others as well, but it's also really competitive. Like you watch the games, these people are really fighting for $1 million, and that's life-changing money, obviously. So it's just kind of turned into this like one of a kind event in America. And obviously with seven-a-side growing at a rapid pace that it is, it kind of fell into this perfect niche.
Moving right along here on Morning Kickaround, we'd like to welcome our guest, the head of team relations of the soccer tournament. It'll be the fourth year of the cash prize tournament held in Cary, North Carolina. This year, 48 men's teams, 16 women's teams, and 12 mixed in a seven-a-side format. Welcome to the show, Luke.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited to be here.
Appreciate you coming by, Luke. Obviously, this thing has taken off. You guys keep growing. Give us a sense what's different in year 4 for TST.
Yeah, so obviously a big year for us with the World Cup coming to North America. Every year we've done this, we've grown it. So it started as a 32-team men's tournament. 4 years later, we have 48 teams in the men's event, 16 now in a women's event, and then brand new this year is a 12-team mixed tournament, which is a co-ed tournament. So we've got 3 different $1 million championship games this year. So a lot of money being handed out, but it's going to be really exciting.
So what was the original idea of this, and why does the folks inside the company think that, like, what is the spark that led to it taking off? Because like you said, it was a men's tournament, and then now over the years, more and more like celebrities and big name players have hopped on. What has made this such an attractive like kind of version of soccer?
Yeah, so our company is actually 13 years old. We've had a basketball tournament for 13 years. That was the original product and property. It's called TBT. It's pretty well known in the basketball sphere, but obviously the sport of soccer dwarfs basketball in terms of global scale. So obviously our basketball tournament kind of made a name for itself. About 5 years ago, we were approached with the idea to do a soccer tournament, 7v7, which is just like the most rapid growing part of the sport right now. And so it's kind of turned into, like, I always tell people that it's a mixture of a youth soccer tournament, the US Open in tennis, and Coachella. And it has different elements of all of those different pieces because it's like this open format. Anyone can enter. We have 7 different games going on at one time, 7 different game fields. We have food trucks from all the countries being represented, festival-like atmosphere. You pay for a ticket. You're not bound to one seat or one section. You can kind of bounce around the venue as you please. So it's kind of turned into this like really competitive, but also family-friendly festival. And it's just been really fun. And obviously we've had some really big celebrities play that are soccer celebrities, non-soccer celebrities like JJ Watt, Steve Nash, Chad Ochocinco. There's a bunch of others as well, but it's also really competitive. Like you watch the games, these people are really fighting for $1 million, and that's life-changing money, obviously. So it's just kind of turned into this like one of a kind event in America. And obviously with seven-a-side growing at a rapid pace that it is, it kind of fell into this perfect niche.
Yeah, obviously there's something to, sorry, Rob, there's something to this version of the game that allows maybe guys who don't have the legs to play, the full pitch game anymore, to have a potential moment of glory. Obviously, I think what always stands out to me is, like, obviously there are clubs that enter teams, and that's like a very obvious thing. That's an extension of our brand. Oakland County, right? Rob is working with Oakland County. Oakland County has a team in the tournament. But then there's all these like themed groups, or like it's like I'm just clicking through your page and I see Freedom United, a bunch of guys from the Air Force Academy get together to make a team. Like, I love that little element of it, Luke.
Yeah, it's awesome. So like you said, we have prominent clubs. So we have like this year we have some prominent clubs from around the world. So we have like Villarreal from La Liga, we have Cagliari from Serie A, we have a bunch of Kings League teams. Obviously that's, doing its thing around the world. So we have a couple Brazilian Kings League team. We have an actual Kings League putting in an all-star team, which is exciting with their expansion to the U.S. They're really trying to promote. But then we have all these other teams of people maybe that you've never heard of that are trying to make a name for yourself. Freedom United is a perfect example of that. But there's, 76 total teams in this event. You can kind of click through and see the stories of all of our teams on the website, but it's super unique, and we're kind of give this platform to anyone, so like anyone can enter. It's really fun, and we're trying to continue to grow this thing as best as we can.
As you might have heard previous to you coming on, there's some things that might make people jaded in the wider scheme of the 11 versus 11 professional soccer side, the private equity firms and teams coming and going, and definitely like a lot of boardroom stuff. So do you think that you presented TST as like almost like a soccer carnival? Do you think that maybe it was appealing just because we're just basing this on fun? Like, let's just fun stuff?
Yeah, I think that's a really big part of that. I think you kind of hit it right on the head. Like, it's just fun. There's not as much pressure. I mean, obviously there's pressure for the teams winning a million, but like, you don't come into this event, there are fans that come specifically rooting for a team, but I would say a lot of our fans just come to enjoy the outdoors. It's in the summer, have a beer, hang out, watch some good soccer. We obviously tailored the games a little bit to kind of make it more fan friendly. So in our basketball tournament, we implemented this Elam ending. We were the first major tournament or league to do it. In basketball, it's at the end of in the fourth quarter, when the first timeout or first whistle at the 4-minute timeout hits, we shut off the clock and add 8, and that becomes a target score. First team to that target score wins. We added that to our soccer event. It's obviously not 8. That would be a lot of goals to score in a short amount of time, but it's 1. So if it's 3-2 at the end of regulation, you add 1, and that becomes a target score. So every single game in our event ends on a goal. It's a walk-off homer in every single game. That golden goal, it creates these amazing moments. Obviously, fans can get behind it because they know that, this goal is coming, and it's not, maybe an 11v11, you see some stalling, some time wasting, all that stuff. Like, that's non-existent in TST. You need to attack and score a goal to win. So stuff like that, we've tailored this event to make it really fun for the fans and for the teams. Like, obviously everyone wants to score goals, so we're trying to promote that. It's fast-paced, 7v7 fast-paced in that target score time as well, I should add. Every 3 minutes, we don't have that target score reached. We remove a player from each team off the pitch. So it goes from 7v7 to 6v6, 5v5, and go all the way down to 2v2. So it's just fun. We try to do stuff like that to kind of hit your point right on the head, where it's all about fun.
So at this point, 4 years in, the expansion into the mixed teams. Is it always got to be like we got to find something new to add every year, Luke? Is it always like pushing the envelope, or are you guys like trying to settle in as you have with the basketball tournament to kind of just a rhythm here? Like, when are you going to feel like this is established, I guess?
Yeah,
is a question.
It's a really good question. It's kind of a mixture of both. Like, we are still establishing ourselves. This is super young. This is 4th year of this thing. The demand is just crazy. There's just so many teams. We're hitting like almost every continent. We have our first African team this year. The Orlando Pirates are entering a team. We've hit every continent except the Antarctica in our 4 years. So there's just so much demand. And we obviously want to accommodate as much demand from the team side as possible. That's my job, is to kind of manage all of that. So obviously we want to keep adding at some point, the venue itself, and we're a very small company. There's like 15 of us in total. We can only handle so much. But I think we're settling in, and this is kind of where we're establishing our roots. So I think I'm interested to see how the mixed tournament goes. It should be really fun. And 48 men's team, 16 women's team seems to be the sweet spot right now.
It's definitely afforded teams and individuals a new platform and a new adventure to seek within the world's game. And then I never would have thought that, I'm a Oakland County FC guy. I'm the play-by-play commentator, and I do a lot in my free time for the team. And I wouldn't have thought that there'd be a platform where, Brazilian champion goalkeepers and Florentine Pogba and some Borussia Dortmund players would be donning the purple of Oakland County FC. And in all clarity, like, Oakland County FC had a sweepstakes and is sending a family down with the team to experience this soccer carnival down there as well. I do know, like, one thing that's done really well, especially last year, clips and being able to see the highlights of the games were very, very visible and really easy to access. I felt like when the tournament, especially in the early rounds when there's lots and lots of games, I felt like clips of the TST was everywhere. But I did see that there are actual broadcast television games. So how many games does Oakland County FC have to win to get on national television is my question.
Yeah. So if Oakland County goes all the way and wins the TST championship, they would play a total of 8 games, 3 in the group stage, and then they have to play 5 games or 5 games to win the million. The way we have 17 games on NBC and Peacock this year. So that's going to be on either main channel NBC, NBCSN, or Peacock. The first games in the men's tournament that gets streamed there's one quarterfinal games, or there's one round of 16 game, 2 to 3 quarterfinal games, and then all semis and all championships will be streamed. So if they get to the round of 16, there's a 1 out of 8 chance that they get on TV. If they make the quarterfinals, that improves a little bit, and then if they make the semis, it's guaranteed.
In terms of the broadcast situation, I mean, I've watched some clips. I don't know if I've sat down. I think I watched a couple of games last year. Maybe I need to make some more time. Obviously, it's a busy time in American soccer. There's a lot going on. And, I do a radio show 5 days a week. How is the broadcast situation? You talked about the games on Peacock and NBC, but who's like producing the broadcast? How does that? I know that's a little inside baseball, but how does that all work? Who's calling games, stuff like that?
Yeah, so obviously we have 17 games, like I said. That's going to be produced through NBC. The rest of the games are streamed on YouTube. And when they actually do really good viewers, I think like they get at minimum 15 to 20, and maximum I've seen like 150,000 people watching at one time. Obviously, the Brazilian streamers and Mexican streamers, like they go crazy in our YouTube live. But we kind of produce it in-house. We work with a company called Tupelo Honey that helps us. But it's a lot of in-house. The commentators we kind of source from everywhere, using connections that we have in basketball. But obviously, we now have all these soccer connections. So people just reach out. They want to call games. We talk to them, see if they're a good fit. Right. And then also we just use our network of soccer individuals to help build it out. And yeah, we have a pretty big announcing crew, as you can imagine, with like 150 games. In 5 days.
No. It's just I guess it never occurred to me to reach out. I'm like, oh, maybe I would want to come down and do something. I know the Cooligans have been down and done some like emceeing stuff.
Yeah, we can connect after this if you're interested.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if the timing works with my life, but it's just like, oh, this might be pretty cool. It's obviously the energy of it, as you said, like the carnival, as Rob was talking about, the carnival aspect of it is obviously something that I think people can rally behind. There is something to like, while I'm a traditionalist in a lot of ways, and it's like, oh, this isn't soccer the way I think of soccer. Obviously, we have a long history of indoor soccer in America, so this kind of fits into that realm. And honestly, there's like a purity to this that is different than maybe sort of like professional soccer sometimes is, because this is just guys $1 million on the line just playing because they love the game, not because I don't know, not because it's their job necessarily, but because they want to express that passion for it.
Yeah, totally. It's really fun, and obviously a lot of indoor play. Like we have players just from all walks of soccer. So we have the traditional 11v11 players, we have the indoor players, we have the Talacha culture players, which is like these Mexican underground tournaments that are really successful in our event. We have, like I said, we're touching every single continent this year. So it's really exciting. And we're going to have three champions, each getting $1 million.
Yeah, 3 champions with $1 million cash prize, and colorful teams from domestic locations and scattered across the world from what it sounds like. Let the listeners know, when does it all kick off and how long does it run for?
Yeah, so our tournament's down in North Carolina, in Cary, which is right outside of Raleigh. It starts May 27th and it'll conclude June 1st. You guys can follow along on our socials, TST77, our Instagram. Our content team does a great job keeping everybody informed and up to date with all of our clips. So make sure to follow us there. And then you can catch like 99% of the games on YouTube. And then, like I said, the 17 games will be on Peacock, NBC, and NBCSN. It's going to be really exciting. And I appreciate you guys for having me on.